bill to effectively kill anime and other piracy in the US gets backing by Netflix, Disney, and Sony. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. This is like just aimed at anime piracy, not all piracy. I mean, I'm kind of pro piracy. I get it. You know, you don't want people stealing your product, obviously not. But I think piracy is essential. I think it helps keep companies honest. That's the way I feel about it.
Uh,
Uh, and there's things that you can steal that is a a real net loss. They're tangible items. But when you're stealing media, it's not like they would have necessarily got your money anyway if you hadn't stole it. You know, if you follow what I'm saying here.
yeah,
So
but
that's why when it comes to digital piracy, I can kind of see it.
well, I'm a little bit confused as to why they're just putting like you. I don't know why they're just putting anime up there.
It could be a first step to a much larger thing. The Motion Picture Association, compromising Netflix, Disney, Amazon, Sony, and more, has backed a new bill bolstering effects to ban access to anime, live action, novel, music, and other forms of piracy sites in the US and potentially beyond. Via Torrent Freak on January 29, 2025, US Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren tabled H.R. 791, the Foreign Anti Digital Piracy Act. If enabled, if enacted, copyright holders and exclusive licensees, collectively referred to as petitioners, will be able to petition a U.S. district court to issue a preliminary order to certain U.S. service providers, EI, Google, Cloudflare, and broadband providers, an initial step to forcing them to block customer access to foreign piracy platforms such websites and apps. Okay, that seems like a mouthful there, but it's weird they're going after foreign. Like if it's hosted foreign, I don't know if it's they're including the U.S. in it, but the fact that it's Google and Cloudflare and broadband providers, damn near the entire internet runs off of Cloudflare. I believe they do the DNS servers or some such or the hosting. I'm not sure, but somewhere along that line.
Um, there's going to be a lot of mad people.
Well, yeah. Question is will they devise a new means to access their pirated material, or will they pay for it? Well, that goes further tricky because there are not always ways to pay for the content that you're wanting. And then you get your anime and it's dubbed by these feminists that have changed up all the lines and they've like turned the blood from red to brown and all kinds of silliness.
So, okay, so anime characters now, instead of bleed, they poop everywhere?
What?
You said they changed the blood color from red to brown.
Well, they're not shitting all over each other, if that's what you mean. um I know in some instances when they re-released it and revoiced it and all this, redubbed it, they would have the bloody scenes and they would turn the blood more of a brown tone, or or maybe it's some other tone that's not red. Whatever the case, they've
Oh,
heavily censored it. It's like uh, two Saiyan warriors fighting. They're hours into the fight, and you look upon the mayhem, and it looks like diarrhea everywhere.
that's what I had in my head. Is like that's what it sounded
Like
like.
he tried to go Super Saiyan form 2 and he just shat himself. His
Oh
power levels brown, I guess.
well,
Censorship is the worst thing, especially if they rewrite the story for it. I don't know. I'm not big in anime, but I did watch the Dragon Ball Z way back, but I don't know if they're rewriting much story, but the lines they're putting in propaganda lines and feminist lines in place of the original lines. That much I know for sure. This preliminary step is to allow the court to conduct a risk assessment into whether the order will interfere with user access to non infringing material on another website or online service, significantly burden the service provider, including the operation of the system or network service provider, or disserve the public interest, as well as seek testimony from the accused foreign piracy platform. The foreign operator has 30 days to appear in court for a response. That's written rather dense. How would you break that down?
Uh, I'm not sure because, like you said, it's very heavily written. I mean, it could be taken a number of ways.
Okay, well, I'll let the viewer decide that on their own. I'm not gonna take the time here to pick it apart and explain it uh, exclusively. The bill defined U.S. service providers as broadband providers with over 100,000 subscribers. So that the big providers, and DNS resolution providers with over 100 million annual revenue that don't exclusively provide DNS through encrypted means. So if the pirating is being done through smaller providers, it'll slip through the cracks essentially, whether it be your broadband, your ISP, or the hosting, the company hosting, doing the domain name resolve on it. Therefore, the likely recipients of these orders would include major ISPs like Comcast and AT&T, as well as Cloudflare and Google, which operate Google Public DNS. Now, Cloudflare, like I said, runs damn near the entire internet, so they're going to catch most of everything. I just wonder if they will catch hidden torrents, because there's torrenting, and then there's torrenting through a VPN, and then there's torrenting through a service which hides that torrent information. So I wonder if they'll be able to catch all of those. It also defines what a foreign piracy website means in the context. The site must be operated by a foreign person, who is in turn defined as the person physically located outside the U.S. It also refers to people whose location cannot be determined within the U.S. The bill seems aimed at limiting the less tech savvy from accessing piracy sites, as it says that blocking order cannot require service providers to take action that would prevent users from using VPNs. Okay, so that answers some of the questions I just asked. But the mass majority of them aren't that tech savvy. I mean, I see people today, they're like, "Oh, I'm a tech genius," and they're like, I can do anything with a phone, and they'll be able to like access the settings, maybe change the glass casing, and it's like, shut up, motherfucker, sit down. You don't know computers. Like
That
that phone and its operating system were designed and made by actual computers.
yeah.
I've had motherfuckers tell me, well, the phone is the new computer, what you use is outdated. And right off, I'm like, oh, fuck, I found a dumbass, or a dumbass found me, but I need to get rid of it.
Well, I mean, a phone is like an appliance. It's an
Yeah,
internet appliance.
yeah. Essentially, what you have is computer like, but is most definitely not a computer. The bill also has a transparency implications. It says that the court must make the order publicly available, highlighting the name of the petitioner, the foreign state, and the date the order was issued, the duration of order, and its expiration date, and a summary of the findings that motivate the order. So they're being especially thorough with this.
Okay, the $1 million question is why?
The bill supporters include SAG AFTRA, the Authors Guild, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, and the MPA. The latter comprises Disney, Netflix, Paramount, Prime Video, Amazon, MGM Studios, Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers, Discovery. MPA chairman and CEO Charles Rivkin. So damn near, the biggest in the industry, right? Uh, I think it's all their streaming services aren't getting all the money that they'd hoped. And as usual, they're idiots about it. Here we are being nickeled and dimed to death, so we're gonna have, like 2 dozen different streaming services so we can watch one show on each of them. And they're going, it's piracy. This is the reason we're losing all of our money. It's piracy why they won't watch our stuff. Like usual, uh, idiots with money.